Public Library, and today for our September Adult Take and Make Kit, I will be demonstrating how to create tile coasters. Supplies needed: your instruction sheet, 4x4 tile, scrapbooking paper or some other type of cardstock or greeting card, whatever you've got to hand, piece of felt. You'll need some alcohol and something to wipe it. You'll need scissors. You'll need Mod Podge. I used the dishwasher safe type. Paintbrush, craft glue, and some type of sealant. You can use this type of a sealant to spray on acrylic, or you can also use an epoxy pour-on. The link for the epoxy pour-on is in the instructions. I will not be demonstrating that today. Let's get started. Before you apply any Mod Podge to your tile, you're going to want to wipe it down with some alcohol just to remove any dirt or oils, and then let that dry. It shouldn't take very long. Once it's dry, then you'll take your Mod Podge. Let's make sure this is dry. Yes, there we go. You're just going to take your Mod Podge and wipe it over the whole top of your tile. And you want to make this as smooth as you can. So get a good amount on there, and we'll smooth it out at the end here. But you do have to work relatively quickly because this stuff will dry pretty fast. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of smooth it out like so. And now I'm going to apply, this is a piece of scrapbooking paper. To this, I've already cut it to a 4 by 4 inches, because you'll notice that even though they say these tiles are 4 by 4, they're actually about a little more than that, 4 1/4. So if you cut your piece of paper to about 4 by 4, you'll have a nice little border. You could cut it to the edge if you wanted. Generally, I have found that the heavier the cardstock, the better. I mean, you don't want to go too heavy, but I used lots of greeting cards. You can even create a logo on cardstock. Here's one, like so, that you can put on here, and you can do almost anything that you can apply. Photos are good also. Okay, so now you just want to make sure there's no bubbles. You've smoothed it all out, and now you're going to let that dry at least 15 to 20 minutes. Once your Mod Podge has dried underneath, then what you want to do is you're going to want to paint it over it. And this is one that I had already dried, so here's that. And it's going to look a little messy when you do it, and kind of white and cloudy, but it will dry clear. So don't worry about that. Just try to cover it as best you can, and then you're going to try and make it as smooth as you can. and make sure to get the edges. Okay, so then we're going to smooth it out. And you can even sand this in between a little bit if it's really lumpy or bumpy. Just very lightly sand it once it's completely dry. But you're going to be putting more than one coat on there, at least 2. You could even do 3. Okay. All right, so that's that. So you're going to let that dry at least 15 to 20 minutes. I'd recommend even maybe a little bit longer. And then you're going to repeat that. And you could even repeat it again. And once you have done that and let them completely dry, then you're going to be working on the back side. So here we have one that's already been Mod Podged completely. So we have this rough edge on the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take craft glue, and you want to do this lightly because you don't want this to come through the felt too much. So kind of get it to your edges, because of course you want your edges. And I cut a 4x4 piece of felt. You could cut it a little bit larger if you wanted. And then place that there, center it. I wouldn't put any more glue than that though. That might almost be a little too much. And then let that dry. I'd let that dry for a bit, at least a few hours. And then once it's completely dry, you'll be ready to seal it. Generally, if you're going to seal it, you're going to want to use an acrylic spray. Be sure to use it in a well-ventilated area. I do it in my garage or even outdoors, and on a fairly dry day, not too humid. Seal them and then let them sit for a while, and then they're ready to go. These make wonderful gifts. You can make a set of them. Here's one that I came up with. It's flowers, but I got it from this magazine. It was just the cover. I thought, oh, it's a beautiful cover, all kinds of different parts of these flowers, and so I just cut them out, and you can make a set of 4. So for a garden-loving friend. And certainly you can do Christmas cards. You can even do pictures. Just be careful that you use an inkjet printer, otherwise the print can run on your photo. So you want to be careful with that. But there's all kinds of options, really whatever works for you. I hope you have enjoyed today's craft. The instructions and contact information will be at the end of this video. Happy crafting!